Hey guys, so we got up early this morning and came to one of our favorite breakfast spots here in Nashville, the Loveless Café. Should be the beginning of a super fun day. Not only is Miss Pepper gonna have her very first pancake, we're also gonna take her on her very first hike to see her very first waterfall. All kinds of new things today. It's gonna be fun. Hey, I'm Pete.
And I'm Jordan, and we got married in 2020.
I have 3 incredible boys, all between the ages of 15 and 20.
And together we have a baby girl who was added to the bunch in 2021. Our story is not a perfect one, as we've experienced some crazy ups and downs in life, but we feel so lucky to be where we are today.
So we want to invite you along on our imperfect journey as we make unforgettable memories, seek ways to love those around us, and experience the ins and outs of daily life with the Wilsons.
I came down from Kentucky, a place called Breezy Creek. That cornbread and buttermilk was all I had to eat. I have served my country, worked for Uncle Sam, but cornbread and buttermilk made me what I am.
What you think, Pat?
Oh, give me that cornbread and buttermilk, a country boy's delight. I eat it every morning and I eat it every night. Some people like fried chicken, others like their ham. Cornbread and buttermilk made me what I am.
We're good, how are you?
How excited are you about this biscuit?
Biscuits, plural.
Biscuits?
Very excited about these biscuits and pancakes.
They've been on the table now for 30 seconds. You haven't grabbed them.
So these biscuits are world famous. They are absolutely amazing. I'm gonna eat like 7, but they make 10,000 every single day.
Make his mountain dew. Daddy had some horses and cattle on the farm, but cornbread and buttermilk never did no harm. Oh, give me that cornbread and buttermilk.
This hash brown casserole is like crack.
Pancake.
Some people like fried chicken, others like
She likes pancakes. She just had her first, what was it?
Hash brown casserole ever. Which I don't even know if babies should eat that.
Yummy, yummy, yummy. That might have been the best breakfast I have ever had.
So many calories.
Oh my gosh. So the Loveless Cafe actually sits at the very beginning of what's called the Natchez Parkway. The Natchez Parkway is one of the most beautiful scenic roadways in all of America. It is gorgeous, beautiful bridges, hiking trails, waterfalls, all kinds of different picnic areas along the way. It's just gorgeous. So we're gonna go, we've actually never seen these waterfalls, but we've been told there's a couple different waterfalls along the Natchez Trace. We're gonna go try to find a trail to hike and try to work off at least a couple hundred of the 10,000 calories that we had for breakfast this morning. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
Peppy, what do you think your dad's singing? I know.
Here we are, on the edge of mystery. We long for a life of new discovery. Focus our eyes on the
We're about to hike down to the base of Jackson Falls. This is gonna be Pepper's very first waterfall.
Look how steep that is.
No, you're gonna get scared by a bee and then fall off the cliff. Sorry.
Say excuse me?
Sorry.
Can you say excuse me?
So we just made it down to the base of the waterfall. It's like a 5-minute hike, that's it. And easy hike down here, and it is gorgeous. Pep, it's your first waterfall. Let's go. So we drew straws. Jordan lost. so she has to carry
I get her
Pat
on the incline.
back up.
That's
the mountain.
hardest.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, letting Jordan carry our baby is,
Okay.
I don't even know.
I carry our baby on the daily, but carrying her on trails and mountains and anything that has a hazard level of anything above 1 is not good.
For those of you who don't know, Jordan, I love her with all my heart, is, how would you say it, clumsy?
Yeah, like
She
bull in a
trips,
china
falls,
shop, kinda.
falls down steps, trips, runs into tables that are
It's
completely
kind of-
stationary.
Yeah, it's daily that I trip, fall, hit permanent like furniture that's been there forever. I don't know what it is. I guess spatially I'm just not super aware. Why am I out of breath? Definitely feeling my biscuits and pancakes and hash brown casserole.
Do you regret it?
No.
Not at all.
No.
You go back, you eat every single bite again, wouldn't
Yeah. I'll have it for lunch and dinner.
you? Keep going, keep walking. Holy crap.
Keep going, keep walking.
That scared the crap out of me.
Is it?
She was like an inch away from stepping on it. That's a good sized snake. That was, did you see it?
First of all, the irony of us talking about how I was a klutz a second ago. I don't know what it is. I guess spatially I'm just not super aware.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what
I thought there was a bear, Pete. You were like, run!
We almost died.
To be fair, I can't see my feet.
That's an adventure with the Wilsons right there.
Do something kinda crazy. Drive all night with you right next to me.
I don't care how old you are. Peanut butter and jelly sandwich always tastes good.
We get up high,
More?
won't look down, we won't look back.
So we're having a little picnic and recounting how we both almost died.
We didn't almost die, but I 1000% thought I was going to. I didn't know what it was. If you don't know what's around you and someone says, keep going, I thought it was a bear.
I pushed her. She was literally her foot. I still don't know how you didn't. I thought she stepped on the head of the snake. She was a quarter inch away from stepping on that snake, and I couldn't get the words out of my mouth fast enough, so I just pushed her and said, keep going.
I ran, y'all. How far did I run?
I couldn't see her anymore.
I just ran and didn't look back.
So
I
the whole time you were running, what were you
thought
thinking?
something was chasing me,
Okay, so
like a bear. What else would you say? Like when you say keep going, it means like go until safety has been
I was
found.
afraid if I couldn't yell stop. Like if you were before the snake, I just said stop. You were on top of the snake, so you had to keep going.
My favorite thing is that minutes before we were both talking about how clumsy I am and how I just like invite harm into our lives unknowingly, and then I basically.
It's attracted to her. Like her stepping on a snake would not have surprised me one bit.
But I did happen upon some very innocent hikers as I was sprinting uphill with a baby.
Our little cute waterfall hike turned into quite the adventure. So I picked this up at Target, $3. That's a good find, huh?
Really good find.
Sure. Have you ever purchased anything at Target for $3?
Lots of things for $3, all culminating to like hundreds. But
Wide spaces, fly like the wind in high places, rushing like water on my face, with your hand in my head. Ooh, I wanna dance into the morning, kiss you like you've never been kissed before me. I would go anywhere you wanna go, with your hand in my head.
All right, guys, we've had a lot of fun today. Pepper's got to go down for bed, but we're not quite done with the adventure yet because I'm going to take you guys up on the Natchez Trace Parkway Bridge. I think it provides some of the most beautiful sunsets in all of Middle Tennessee. The weather is not like fantastic for a great sunset tonight. That's not setting up like it's going to be real pretty, but you never know. We might get lucky. Some of the clouds might get out of the way, but you're not going to believe the view from up on this bridge. So we're going to jump in the Jeep. It's a beautiful evening, and hopefully we'll catch a great sunset.
Drove across the Natchez Bridge today. You opened up the door. Had to be wondering what's
It's kind of a weird feeling being way up on this bridge. The ledge on this bridge, I'm sitting on the ledge. They're only about 18 inches tall. And so to be this high up, only about that much of a barrier, it is a really weird feeling. So I've been thinking a lot about fear today, like being up here on this bridge this high up, and then the snake earlier on the trail. The funny thing about fear, and I think one of the reasons it's so hard to kind of figure it out, is that early on in life, it's like fear is a friend, right? Fear is what taught you not to touch the hot stove. Fear is that feeling you had inside of you. You were standing up on something, that was way too high for you to jump off of, and something inside of your mind was like, don't jump, you're gonna break your leg, right? Fear is that thing that kept you from getting too close to the snake because you were afraid you might get bit. So early on in life, fear is kind of this helpful thing, right? But then the longer you live, it's kind of like fear becomes this thing that just keeps you trapped in your comfort zone. If you think about it, fear really establishes the limits of your life, because if you fear heights, you're going to stay low. If you fear outside, you'll stay inside. If you fear failure, you just won't try. If you fear people, you'll stay alone. Fear always establishes the limits of your life. So I was just thinking a couple things that are really helpful for those of us that sometimes get dominated by fear. And the first is this: you've got to acknowledge the source of the fear, right? Acknowledge the source, which is what? It's your imagination. Almost all fear in your life originates right here in your mind. And I think it's important to note that we've evolved to a place where almost all of our fears are self-created. So acknowledge the source. Here's a little exercise that's really helped me with that. Make a list of all the things that you fear. I don't know, maybe you fear a difficult conversation with your spouse. Maybe you fear going on that new job interview. Maybe you fear asking for a raise. Maybe you fear writing that book or starting that new business. I don't know what it is you fear, but write down all the different things that you fear. And then what I would encourage you to do is put it in this format. Say, I want to blank, but I scare myself because I imagine blank. I want to blank, but I scare myself by imagining blank. I'll give you a personal example. For Jordan and I recently, it's been starting this vlog. It's been a scary thing for us because we've never done a vlog before, and we don't know how to record stuff. We don't know how to edit stuff. We don't know how to put all this together. And anytime you do something like this and you kind of put it out in the world, it's just kind of this scary thing, right? So for us, we want to start a vlog, and we scare ourselves by imagining that we'll be terrible at it and it'll be publicly humiliating, right? That's the fear, and it's created in our imagination. Now, do we know that to be absolutely true? No. So we take the risk and we go for it, right? See, take that statement, I want to blank, and I scare myself by imagining blank, and then flip it. Flip it like this. We want to start a vlog, and we're going to work really hard at figuring out this new skill, and we're going to have a blast doing it. And so it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. And that's a truer statement. That's a statement that we can live by. So identify the source of the fear. And then the second thing that you got to do is make a decision that you're not going to allow fear to drive. Liz Gilbert wrote this great book called Big Magic, and in it she had this illustration, I've never forgotten this, where she talks about fear being like a passenger in a car. So it's like you're on this road trip through life, and you have to acknowledge the fact, we all do, that we have some fear, right? So fear's a passenger in the car, you acknowledge that it's in the car, but then you set the boundaries, right? Fear's not allowed to decide what route you take on this trip. Fear's not even allowed to pick out the snacks on the road trip, right? And fear definitely is not going to be allowed to get behind the wheel of the car. We're not going to let fear drive. So we acknowledge it's there, but then we set the boundary around it. I think this is important because I think a lot of people kind of imagine that there's just some people that have this crazy courage that they live their lives by, and then everybody else is kind of just dominated by fear. But I don't think that's really the case. I think the reality is inside of every single one of us, there is both courage and there's fear. And you got to decide, which one are you going to go with? Which one are you going to allow behind the wheel of the car? I don't know what it is that you're afraid of right now. I don't know what just seems too daunting for you to take action on. What I do know is this: inside of you right now, there is both courage and there's fear, and you get to choose which one you go with. My wish for you, my hope for you, is that you'll choose courage. Choose faith over fear. Is it gonna work out exactly the way you want it to work out? I don't know. I really don't. What I do know is this: I've never regretted one time in my life choosing courage. Even if it didn't work out exactly the way that I wanted it to work out, I was always so glad that I went with it, including Jordan and I starting this vlog. And who knows where it goes, who knows if anybody ever even watches it, but I'm really glad that we chose courage, that we pushed back against the fear. All right, well, we had an absolute blast with you guys today as we just explored a little bit of what the Natchez Trace has to offer. Trust me when I say there's plenty more places for you to go and visit. If you're ever in Middle Tennessee, you're gonna have to come out here. But our day is quickly coming to the end as the sun is setting. We got plenty more adventures coming up soon though, so if you haven't subscribed, just click that subscribe button right down there, and we'll talk to you soon.